Welcome, dear friend, to a quiet corner of our channel, and thank you from the deepest reaches of our heart for choosing to spend your precious time here with us. We have woven for you a gentle story where stillness breathes its first name, crafted to serve as a warm, comforting hand, guiding you toward a peaceful night's slumber, helping you to drift off with ease. If, as you journey with us, you find a gentle joy in this quiet tale, please do, right now, lend your support by liking this story, subscribing to our channel, and perhaps sharing a gentle comment, for it helps us continue to share these moments of tranquility. Before we embark upon our silent exploration of this realm, a place where the air itself seems to hold its breath and the luminescent flora pulses with gentle light, we shall first share a moment of gentle breathing to settle your spirit. Now, let us invite true comfort to our being. Settle yourself, much like a well-loved book finding its perfect spot on a smooth, dark shelf. Feel your body sink gently into your mattress, or perhaps into the soft cushions of your chair, allowing every part of you to feel utterly supported and at ease. Adjust your blankets, pull them close as if they were a soft, warm hug, and let your pillow cradle your head, making a cozy nook just for you. This is your special time, a gentle evening pilgrimage where all the busy thoughts of the day may simply unfurl and drift away, inviting a quiet calm into your heart, as soft and pervasive as the profound quiet of this unique realm. Let us share a soothing breath together, much like the slow, contented exhalation of the very air in this place. Slowly, gently, draw the air in through your nose, imagining it flowing easily and naturally, like a soft, silvery light filling every corner of your being. Then release it just as gently through your mouth, a soft, almost imperceptible sigh of pure relief. With each slow, deliberate breath, feel your body softening, much like the worn leather of an old book, releasing any small knots of tension you might be holding. Imagine the clean, pure scent of the still air, the faint aroma of coolness, and the subtle fragrance of luminescent blossoms, filling your senses, hushing the small, lingering noises you might have carried from your day. If perchance your thoughts begin to flutter like dust motes in the soft, diffused light of the luminescent flora, that is quite all right, dear one. Simply observe them, allowing them to drift by like wisps of mist in a shallow dale, and then, with the gentlest kindness, guide your attention back to the steady rhythm of your breathing, or to the quiet comfort of my voice. There is nothing left for you to do now, save for listening and allowing the story to carry you into the deep, dreamless rest you so richly deserve. Feel the profound quiet of the realm, a stillness that resonates with the very song of patience, gently coaxing your own body into a profound state of relaxation. Let any remaining worries simply soften and dissolve, like the last vestiges of sound, fading into absolute silence. Now let us begin our quiet journey into the heart of this story, where the absence of sound and the soft glow of unseen blossoms await to guide you into a serene and deeply restful sleep. Chapter 1: The Threshold of Silence. Kaylin's journey had been one of constant movement, a symphony of hurried footsteps, and a world alive with ceaseless sounds. But as they pressed onward, a profound anomaly began to manifest in the very air. A palpable hush descended, a stillness so absolute it felt as if the world itself had exhaled and was holding its breath, waiting in serene anticipation. Drawn by an irresistible, silent pull, Kaylin stepped across an unseen threshold, entering a realm where the familiar clamor of the outside world seemed to dissolve into an exquisite, all-encompassing quiet. The ground beneath their feet was not rough earth or hard stone, but a fine, soft substance that felt like compacted, cool mist, and with every step, it seemed to absorb all sound, muffling even the faintest rustle. This sudden, profound quiet was not an emptiness, but a tangible presence, a comforting stillness that began to settle over Kaylin like a warm, familiar cloak. The usual anxieties that had clung to them, remnants of a life defined by hurried interactions and constant sensory input, started to loosen their grip, replaced by a gentle curiosity and a deeply welcomed sense of peace. As they ventured further into this new landscape, the light softened, shifting from the direct, sometimes harsh rays of the sun to a diffused, even glow that seemed to emanate from the very atmosphere, creating a visual serenity that mirrored the auditory calm. Kaylin found a sheltered hollow, a natural depression in the soft ground that felt as though it had been formed to offer perfect repose. Here, the quiet felt particularly potent, a concentrated essence of stillness that resonated deep within their being. They spent the morning simply observing, their senses now attuned to the subtlest nuances of this silent world. A gentle warmth radiated from the ground beneath them, a constant, subtle heat that eased the traveler's accumulated weariness. It was a feeling of being truly supported, truly held by the receptive nature of this unique realm. In this quietude, Kaylin began to notice a different kind of communication, a language of unsound, as their mind began to label it. These were not spoken words or audible cues, but subtle shifts in the diffused light, the almost imperceptible tremor that ran through the air, and the delicate way the luminescent flora, clustered nearby, unfurled their petals with an unhurried, exquisite grace. These were the messages of the realm, delivered not through sound, but through presence and gentle visual cues, fostering a profound sense of connection. The traveler's breathing, which had been shallow and hurried from the journey, began to deepen, to slow, each inhalation and exhalation becoming a soft, quiet rhythm in harmony with the realm's profound stillness. The warmth from the ground seeped upwards, loosening the tension in Kaylin's limbs, allowing their body to soften and surrender to the pervasive calm. There was no need for effort, no drive to analyze or understand, only the simple, profound act of being present in this remarkably quiet space. Kaylin observed a cluster of luminescent flora nearby, their petals a soft ethereal white, pulsed with a gentle rhythmic light, casting a serene, ever-shifting glow on the soft ground. This light was not bright or attention-grabbing, but a soft emanation, a quiet testament to the realm's unique, gentle magic. It created a visually soothing atmosphere, enhancing the sense of peace and offering a focal point for quiet contemplation, further calming the mind. The traveler's focus narrowed to the immediate sensations, the soft yielding of the ground underfoot, the gentle warmth that seemed to radiate from within the earth, the subtle, clean fragrance of the pure air, and the quiet pulse of light from the flora. Each sensation was received with a gentle receptiveness, contributing to the overall feeling of profound comfort and deep relaxation. The external world, with all its noise and urgency, felt like a distant, almost forgotten memory. The desire to move or to engage in any activity beyond passive observation completely faded. Kaylin felt an overwhelming sense of acceptance, of being perfectly at home in this silent sanctuary. The realm seemed to offer not just quiet, but a deeper stillness, an internal peace that resonated with the external environment. It was a moment of profound connection, where the traveler and the realm existed in perfect, silent harmony. With a soft, contented sigh, Kaylin settled deeper into the yielding ground, their body now completely relaxed. The gentle warmth and the profound quiet formed a comforting embrace, preparing them for a deep, restorative rest. The journey had led them not just to a new place, but to a new state of being, one defined by the inherent peace found in the absence of all sound. Chapter 2: The Language of Unsound. Having found a sheltered hollow in the realm's soft, sound-absorbing ground, Kaylin spent the morning in quiet observation, allowing the pervasive stillness to deepen its hold. The gentle warmth radiating from beneath was a constant, comforting presence, easing the traveler's weariness with each passing moment. Kaylin's attention, no longer demanded by external noise, was free to explore the subtle nuances of this silent world, to decipher the unique language of unsound that permeated the air. It was a language spoken not by voice, but by the softest of gestures, the gentlest of presences. The luminescent flora, which had been noted the previous day, now seemed more vibrant in their gentle, pulsing light. Their petals, delicate and ethereal, unfurled with an almost imperceptible grace. Each movement a silent statement of serene growth. The light they emitted was soft and diffused, casting a gentle, ever-shifting glow on the yielding ground, creating patterns that were visually soothing rather than stimulating. Kaylin found their gaze drawn to these silent displays, a quiet fascination growing with each soft pulse of light. Kaylin's focus drifted to the air itself. It was pure and carried a subtle, clean fragrance, a faint aroma of coolness and quiet that was utterly devoid of any harsh or stimulating scents. This pure air felt cleansing, not just to the lungs, but to the spirit, washing away the last vestiges of any residual mental chatter. Kaylin noticed the almost imperceptible tremor that ran through the air, a subtle vibration that felt like the realm's quiet heartbeat, a gentle confirmation of its alive yet silent presence. The traveler's connection to the ground deepened. The soft, yielding surface felt more than just a physical support. It felt like an anchor, grounding Kaylin more firmly in the present moment. The warmth emanating from it was constant and reassuring, a physical manifestation of the realm's inherent peacefulness. Kaylin's body began to relax in earnest, muscles unknotting with a subtle ease, their breathing slowing to a deep, unhurried rhythm that seemed to synchronize with the gentle pulsing of the flora. The concept of time in this realm was not marked by clocks or hurried schedules, but by the subtle shifts in the diffused light and the gradual unfolding of the luminescent petals. Kaylin found a profound peace in this unhurried pace, a welcome release from the relentless march of minutes and hours from their past life. Each moment was allowed to simply be, to exist fully in its own quiet space, fostering a sense of deep contentment. Kaylin's mind, once a busy place of constant internal dialogue, began to mirror the external quietude. Thoughts still arose, but they were like soft, fleeting clouds drifting across a serene sky, acknowledged without attachment and allowed to pass. There was no effort required to let them go. The pervasive stillness of the realm simply encouraged their gentle dissipation. This newfound mental tranquility was a profound gift, a restoration of inner harmony. The traveler continued their gentle exploration, moving with deliberate, unhurried grace. Their attention was deeply focused on the subtle tactile and visual experiences, the feel of the soft ground, the gentle warmth, the delicate pulse of light. There was no urge to analyze or categorize these sensations. They were simply received, appreciated for their inherent peacefulness, and allowed to contribute to the growing sense of inner calm. Kaylin discovered a place where the quiet felt even more concentrated, a clearing where the air itself seemed to vibrate with a silent, resonant energy. Here the luminescence of the flora was more pronounced, bathing the area in a soft, ethereal glow. It was in this clearing that Kaylin felt the most profound connection to the realm, a sense of deep belonging that transcended mere physical presence. As the diffused light began its subtle shift towards the gentler hues of twilight, Kaylin settled into a posture of deep repose. The combined sensations of the soft ground, the gentle warmth, the clean air and the rhythmic light created an enveloping atmosphere of profound peace, encouraging a surrender to the restorative powers of this silent sanctuary. Chapter 3. Communion with Stillness. Drawn by an invisible current of even deeper quiet, Kaylin ventured further into the realm, arriving at a clearing where the very essence of stillness seemed to be concentrated. The air here vibrated with a silent, resonant energy, a palpable presence that spoke of ancient peace. The luminescent flora, clustered around the edges of the clearing, pulsed with a more pronounced, gentle light, bathing the area in a soft ethereal glow that eliminated any harsh shadows. It was a space designed for profound communion, a sanctuary within a sanctuary. At the heart of this clearing lay a pool of water, so impossibly still and clear that its surface acted as a perfect, unblemished mirror. It reflected the muted, softly diffused sky with absolute fidelity, offering no ripple, no distortion, only a flawless surface that seemed to hold the essence of tranquility. The silence here was so profound, it felt like a tangible entity, a gentle pressure that invited a complete surrender of the external world. Kaylin knelt beside the mirror pool, their movements slow and deliberate, a silent reverence for the profound quiet of the space. They extended a hand, fingers trembling slightly with anticipation, and gently touched the surface of the water. The moment their skin met the water, a wave of profound relaxation, unlike anything Kaylin had ever experienced, washed over them. It was a sensation that felt as if it originated from their very core, spreading outwards, loosening every muscle, quieting every stray thought. This touch imparted a fleeting sensation of weightlessness, as if gravity itself had softened its hold in that immediate vicinity. It was a magical release, a physical manifestation of the realm's inherent peace, dissolving the last vestiges of weariness and internal restlessness. The stillness of the water seemed to communicate directly with Kaylin's being, whispering of a deeper, more fundamental peace that resided within all things. The clearing was a symphony of gentle sensations, the soft rhythmic pulsing of the luminescent flora, the subtle clean fragrance in the air, the barely perceptible tremor of the quiet energy, and the profound silence that enveloped everything. Kaylin found a smooth, yielding patch of the soft ground at the edge of the pool, a natural alcove that seemed to welcome repose. They settled down, leaning back as if embraced by the very substance of the realm. The combination of the gentle warmth from the ground, the visual tranquility of the pulsing light, and the profound silence created an atmosphere conducive to deep surrender. Kaylin's breathing became a slow, unhurried rhythm, perfectly in sync with the subtle movements of the flora and the silent vibration of the air. There was no effort involved, The realm itself seemed to guide Kaylin's body into a state of perfect relaxation. The mirror pool remained an unblemished surface, a perfect reflection of the serene sky and the gentle glow of the surrounding plants. Kaylin looked into it, not seeing their own reflection, but rather a quiet expanse that seemed to hold the essence of the realm's peace. This interaction fostered a sense of deep connection, not just to the place, but to a universal stillness that resonated within. The desire for activity or engagement with the outside world had vanished entirely. Kaylin's focus was solely on the present sensory experience, on absorbing the profound calm that emanated from every aspect of the clearing. This was a moment of true communion, where the boundaries between self and environment began to blur, dissolving into a singular experience of serene peace. Kaylin closed their eyes, not in exhaustion, but to deepen the internal experience. The gentle warmth, the quiet pulse of light, and the pervasive silence created a sanctuary for the soul. They felt a sense of belonging, a quiet joy that came from simply existing within this haven of absolute tranquility, allowing the stillness to replenish and restore. Chapter 4. The Stillness Within. As the days in this realm of profound quiet began to blend into a seamless continuum, Kaylin found their concept of time shifting entirely. The relentless ticking of clocks and the hurried demands of schedules from the outside world became distant, almost irrelevant memories. Time was now marked by the subtle changes in the diffused light, the gentle cycles of the luminescent flora's rhythmic pulsing, and the quiet unfolding of each silent moment. Kaylin no longer sought to measure or control time. They simply allowed themselves to exist within its unhurried flow, a passive observer in a world where stillness was the only constant. The traveler's mind, once a site of constant internal dialogue and restless activity, began to mirror the external quietude of the realm. Thoughts still arose, as is natural, but they were no longer demanding or disruptive. Instead, they arrived like soft, fleeting clouds, drifting across a vast, serene sky. Kaylin learned to acknowledge these mental formations, perhaps noting their subtle color or form, and then to allow them to drift peacefully onward, without attachment or the need to engage. This effortless release of mental clutter was a testament to the realm's potent, yet gentle restorative magic. The soft, warm light that bathed the entire realm seemed to possess a tangible quality, as if it were a gentle substance that seeped into Kaylin's very bones. It was a light that banished harsh shadows and smoothed away the sharp edges of reality, creating a consistent, enveloping sense of contentment that was deeply soothing. This pervasive warmth was not merely external. Kaylin felt it blossoming from within, a deep, internal wellspring of peace that perfectly mirrored the external serenity of their surroundings. Kaylin found a profound peace in these simple, mindful observations. The slow, almost imperceptible unfurling of a luminescent petal, the delicate way a gentle air current stirred a cluster of glowing leaves, the precise shade of soft indigo that settled over the distant, unseen horizons as twilight deepened. These were not moments of intense focus or analytical thought, but rather gentle acknowledgments, small points of quiet wonder that punctuated the overarching sense of pervasive peace. There was no desire to analyze, categorize, or even remember, only to appreciate the unfolding beauty with a quiet, receptive heart. The external world, with its insistent demands and underlying anxieties, had faded into a distant, almost dreamlike memory. Kaylin's needs felt profoundly simple and effortlessly met. The comforting warmth of the soft ground, the gentle rhythm of the luminescent flora's pulse, the subtle nourishment from the pure, clean air. There was a sense of profound sufficiency, a deep feeling that all that was necessary for true peace was readily available within this serene environment. This absence of external striving allowed Kaylin's inner world to settle, to become as undisturbed and calm as the silent realm itself. The luminescent flora continued its soft rhythmic pulsing, and Kaylin found a particular solace in its steady, gentle glow. It served as a visual refrain, a constant, quiet presence that soothed the eyes and further calmed the mind. The patterns of light shifted subtly throughout the hours, creating a silent, visual meditation that Kaylin could absorb without conscious effort. Each soft pulse seemed to whisper of continuity, of a deep, abiding peace that was always present, even beyond the boundaries of this unique sanctuary. Kaylin's breathing had become so natural, so effortless, that it was no longer a conscious act but an intrinsic part of their being, a slow, steady rhythm that echoed the realm's own profound stillness. The feeling of being held by the soft ground was constant and profoundly reassuring, a gentle foundation upon which their restored sense of self was being built. Any lingering physical tension that might have remained in their body seemed to melt away, dissolved by the pervasive warmth, the gentle light, and the deep, resonant silence. There developed within Kaylin a quiet understanding, a profound acceptance of the present moment in its entirety. This acceptance was not a passive resignation to circumstances, but an active embrace of the stillness, a deep recognition of the inherent beauty that resided in simply existing, in being present. The realm provided a nurturing space for this understanding to flourish, a sanctuary where the traveler's soul could unfurl and discover its true peaceful rhythm, free from the external pressures of a noisy world and the internal unrest of a hurried mind. As the diffused light began its subtle shift towards the deeper, more muted hues of early evening, Kaylin felt a profound sense of stillness settle within them. It was a quiet joy, a deep well of contentment that asked for nothing more than to simply Be, the realm's silent language, its gentle pulse of light and pervasive stillness, had become an integral part of Kaylin's existence, a constant soothing reminder of the deep peace that lay dormant within, waiting patiently to be rediscovered in the quiet spaces of being. Chapter 5. The first name of peace. The transition from the preceding quiet days into this new phase was as imperceptible as the gradual deepening of twilight in the realm. Kaylin awoke not to a sudden jolt of awareness, but to a soft unfolding, a gentle return to consciousness that felt like surfacing from the deepest, most restorative slumber. The pervasive quiet that defined the realm was still the dominant presence, a comforting stillness that had become so familiar it felt like an intrinsic part of Kaylin's own being. The luminescent flora continued their soft rhythmic pulsing, casting a serene, ethereal glow that painted the landscape in the subdued hues of profound calm. Kaylin felt a complete and settled peace, a deep inner quietude that had been meticulously cultivated through their immersion in this realm of absolute stillness. The moments spent observing the gentle light, the hours spent simply breathing the pure, silent air, and the constant, grounding presence of the pervasive quiet had all contributed to this profound sense of restoration. Kaylin was no longer the weary traveler who had stumbled across the threshold. They were now a part of the realm's own serene essence, deeply replenished and inherently calm. The journey within this unique space had not been about overcoming external challenges or achieving a specific, defined goal. It had been about passive immersion, about allowing the realm's inherent qualities to work their gentle magic, to guide Kaylin towards their own inner peace. The traveler now carried the essence of this stillness within them, a subtle yet powerful resonance that felt as natural and essential as their own breath. It was a quiet knowing, a deep-seated calm that felt intrinsically theirs, a treasure discovered not through an active seeking, but through the simple, profound act of being present and receptive. With a slow, deliberate movement, Kaylin rose from their place of repose. There was no sense of urgency to depart, nor was there any compulsion to remain indefinitely. The realm had offered its profound gifts, and Kaylin, now deeply revitalized and inherently peaceful, felt ready to carry that stillness outwards. This outward journey would not be marked by action or noise, but by the quiet resonance of their restored being, by the silent testament to the peace they had found. The air, still pure and clean, seemed to acknowledge this readiness, not with sound, but with a subtle shift in its gentle presence. Kaylin's movements were fluid and unhurried, imbued with the same deliberate grace that characterized the realm's own natural rhythms. They surveyed the quiet landscape, a soft smile gracing their lips. The luminescent flora seemed to pulse with a slightly more vibrant glow as if offering a silent acknowledgement of Kalen's deep restoration and readiness. The subtle fragrance of coolness and quiet filled the air, invigorating Kalen's spirit without disturbing their profound calm. The feeling of being held by the soft ground was a constant and reassuring presence, a gentle foundation upon which their restored sense of self was now built. This intrinsic feeling of peace, cultivated in the heart of absolute stillness, had become a permanent part of Kalen's existence. The subtle nuances of the realm, the gentle light, the pure air, the deep quiet, had all woven together to create a sanctuary for the soul, a place where true peace was not just found, but recognized as an inherent state of being. Kalen's mind was now remarkably clear, the restless chatter of previous days replaced by a profound, unshakable clarity. Any thoughts that arose were still like gentle clouds drifting across a serene sky, but now they passed with an even greater serenity, unburdened by any need to grasp or hold on. The realm's subtle magic had gifted Kalen not just with external peace, but with a profound sense of inner spaciousness, an innate ability to simply observe and appreciate without the interference of a demanding ego or the weight of past anxieties. As Kalen turned to begin a slow, unhurried departure from the clearing, the realm seemed to offer a final silent blessing. The pervasive quiet felt like a fond farewell, and the gentle glow of the luminescent flora, a serene benediction upon their journey ahead. Kalen stepped away from the heart of the stillness, carrying its essence within them, a quiet resonance that would continue to guide and comfort, a tangible reminder of the peace discovered. The path ahead, though it led away from this unique sanctuary, felt illuminated by the inner light Kalen had discovered. The outside world might still present its cacophony, but Kalen now possessed an internal sanctuary of profound stillness, a deep, abiding peace that had been cultivated in the silent embrace of a realm where stillness itself breathed its first, essential name. The journey had been one of profound restoration, a gentle awakening to the enduring power of quietude and the fundamental peace inherent in simply being.